Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Grace, and if you've never been here before, on my channel we talk about how to live your best intentional life, but realistically, because you know, shit happens. As we all know, 2022 was kind of a wild year. I don't know if it was good or bad. It was kind of a lot of both. As you can tell from the title of this video, we are going to be talking about our goals and how to make this year an even better year. I think I learned a lot of things in 2022 about what made me a more happy and productive person. But yeah, in this video, I'm basically just going to share how I'm going to make this year my best year yet by setting not only like goals, but setting actual systems to achieve them. So these systems that we're gonna set up are kind of just gonna be put in place so that we can work smarter, not harder. We all start out on top of the world, like ready to achieve our goals, and then we realize that we haven't set up any systems for actually achieving them. And then it just gets really overwhelming, and then halfway through the year, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a worthless piece of garbage. I can't do anything. No, you're not. Life is really overwhelming sometimes and things happen, okay? We just have to set up a system so that all the things that make you feel good and happy are implemented throughout the year. So that's what we're doing today. So now I want you to take a moment and think about the kinds of things that you want to implement and focus on this year that are going to benefit your health and your happiness. If this means taking time to write them down in a journal, it could also just be kind of thinking about the highlights of your 2022 and seeing what you can do in order to keep those highlights alive and maybe implementing more of that into your year this year. So essentially my whole goal this year is to focus on implementing more slow living principles. Essentially, this means that I just want to value my time more. So for me, the theme of this year is quality time. I won't get too deep into this because I've already talked about it and reflected a bit about the concept of time in another one of my YouTube videos. But in a nutshell, I think for me, just because I live and work in New York, it's really easy to fall prey to the idea that you have to be a part of this big chaotic machine system. There's a very specific way of life that this city has in store for all of us, and I don't want to subscribe to it anymore. So yes, obviously I'm gonna be living here probably for the next like 5 years before we move to New Zealand, but I'm gonna try to implement some of those slow living techniques into my life now to make my time here more enjoyable and also just to make my life better in general. Obviously we have to work and clean and feed ourselves and do all that stuff. So for me, all of my goals this year kind of slide right in, so hopefully some of my ideas and goals will inspire you and give you some ideas on how you can frame your goals this year. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, so my personal goals and systems for this year fall under 4 different categories: movement, nourishment, hold on, what are they? We have movement, nourishment, mindfulness, and minimalism. So these 4 things will make me have a very productive and happy and intentional year. You know, I always say in my videos, we're trying to create the most realistic, intentional, and happy life that you can create. And that is definitely my goal this year, because I feel like sometimes I'm not as intentional as I could be. So right now I'm going to go through my goals and kind of explain to you guys how I'm going to be implementing them throughout my year and creating these systems to make them happen. My first pillar is movement. So what I want to do is I want to do more yoga and just in general move my body more, but that is very vague and there's no way that anything is gonna come of that if I don't set something up. So I plan on creating a playlist on YouTube of yoga videos that I can watch and do. I'm really partial to Yoga with Adriene just because she's really calming and has a good like setup, and I just tend to gravitate towards her videos. So I literally just looked up her videos and looked at what popped up and put a few of them into my yoga playlists. The easiest way that you're going to add more movement into your life is by scheduling it into your calendar or writing a note on your fridge or something. I am committing to every Tuesday and Thursday doing yoga in the mornings, and I'm kind of creating my weekends as my like life admin reset, like get everything ready for the week sort of time. So I'm going to use the weekends to put the links for the videos that I'm going to do in my calendar. So forever there's going to be yoga in my calendar on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but at the end of each week during the weekends when I'm setting myself up for the week ahead, I will put in specific links of videos for, I'll put in specific links for the yoga classes that I want to take. It is so loud right now. Oh my God, this is really hard. In an ideal world, I would also do like an in-person dance class once a month or something, or maybe put a gym membership in there. There's a climbing gym nearby, which might be an option, or like a regular gym, because I do love to dance and rock climb and do other random normal workout things. But yoga on YouTube is free and easy. You don't even need a yoga mat, like you really don't. But also if you need to get a yoga mat, I'm pretty sure you can buy one for not a ton of money. So it's cheaper than a gym membership, that's for sure. Okay, anyways, the second pillar is nourishment. This is nourishment of my mind and my body. In terms of nourishing my mind, I am doing a reading challenge this year. So I'm gonna try to read about 15 books, books that I already own. I did a whole video on this and I posted it a few weeks ago. So if you want to learn about how to get back into reading and learn a little bit about my current reading challenge, then go ahead and check out my other video. The only update to that video is that I have officially joined the Unread Shelf project, and I will leave a link below to that whole situation. It's basically just like prompts to read and then like a few little journal prompts as well. So if you want to get rid of the books that you already own and read through your shelf, then feel free to join me. I'll be posting updates about my reading journey on my Instagram, so feel free to follow me there as well. Otherwise, feel free to follow me on Storygraph. I don't use Goodreads because it's owned by bad people, and also Storygraph is better because you can actually mark what books you already own, and it also suggests books to you, so it's better in every way. So that's what I'm doing for my mind nourishment. In terms of my body nourishment, unless you can't tell, I have eczema, and I'm going to be working with my dermatologist and other allergists and specialists and whatever to figure out how to get rid of it. Essentially, I just want to eat less processed and fried foods because it's not good for my skin, and it definitely flares my eczema, and it is really hellish living with eczema all the time. And yeah, I don't know. There's a chance that I might be put on Dupixent at some point, but we'll see. I'm just gonna listen to my doctors and see what happens. But in general, I think eating healthier is probably a good way to go. I hate diets. They're stupid and they don't work. So I'm not like restricting myself on anything. Like if I want fries or cake, I will eat it and I don't give a damn. But I think in general, if I just added more fresh vegetables into my diet, that would probably be good for me and my health. And one way that I'm actually going to implement this is by trying to see if I can food prep a little bit on the weekends. So like I said, my weekends are kind of going to be my like setup for the week time. I can also update my Pinterest board to include more plant-based whole foods stuff and less processed and fried things. My Pinterest board is kind of like my little mini cookbook, so yeah, I use that as a reference. And if you need some ideas and you happen to also be vegan/vegetarian, or you just want to eat more vegan or vegetarian foods, then I will put my Pinterest recipe board down below as well. There's going to be a ton of information in the description today. Okay. The next pillar is mindfulness. So in terms of mindfulness, there's a few things that I want to incorporate into this, and I'm just going to kind of list them and then explain how I'm going to implement them into my life. So definitely want to meditate more, would love to journal more. I definitely want to spend more time outdoors, and I want to break my phone addiction. I have a plan for all of these things. So in terms of meditation, I also have a meditation playlist on my YouTube. that I would love to do at least one meditation per week. So I am just gonna create a very large playlist of meditations on my YouTube. It's just like a personal private playlist, and I suggest that you make one of your own, whether it's on Spotify or YouTube or whatever. And essentially, I'm just going to make sure that at least once a week, I just sit down, take a moment, and do a meditation. I don't know if it's gonna end up like falling on a certain day every week or whatever, but I think I will know when in the week I need it most, and that's probably when I'm gonna end up doing it. In terms of journaling, I think a great way to journal more is by using prompted journals. As you guys know, I am always a supporter of Rachel Havocost. I actually happen to be one of her affiliates, and as well as one of her friends. But anyways, I think using prompted journals is definitely a great way to kind of get into the swing of doing journals and stuff. She has a bunch of free resources on her website of free journals, but if you want to buy one and do a bit more internal work, or you know, have a bit more of like a everyday journaling practice, there's a bunch of paid ones that you can get as well. And if you'd like to use my code GRACE, you can get 10% off. Yay! In terms of spending more time outdoors, I am so excited. My dog is going to be back here in a week. As some of you may know, my boyfriend and I were just in New Zealand for 3 weeks, so there will be some videos about that coming out soon. But my boyfriend's mom was watching our dog, and he will be back in a week, and I'm so excited to see him. I miss him so much. He's been gone for a month and a half. So the second that he's back, I will be doing a walk in the morning, a walk at night, walks in the middle of the day. We'll be going to the dog park more often. And that will be great in terms of just getting me outdoors and giving him exercise at the same time. But I also really want to see if I can go camping sometime this summer, or like getting on Metro North and like going and doing a little walk or hike in like the Hudson Valley area. Perhaps when it gets slightly less freezing, but you know, we'll make it happen. And in terms of breaking my phone addiction, I have been making large strides in this area. So I have set a lock on my phone so that I only get 1 hour of Instagram and TikTok a day, and I get 45 minutes on YouTube per day. Essentially, I just have time limits on my apps, and I have it blocked at the end of the limit, and my boyfriend has the password. I'm trying to see, how can I like... So if you go into screen time and then go into app limits, you can set a limit on your apps, where for me, it's Instagram and TikTok is 1 hour and YouTube is 45 minutes. So when you go in, it'll do the whole screen time password, but when you go all the way in, which I don't have the password right now, it'll say block at the end of limit. So make sure that you go in and block it at the end of the limit, so that when the hour is up, it literally locks you out of the apps, and then give someone else the passcode. I highly suggest also putting downtime on there. So for me, my downtime is from 9 p.m. to 11 a.m. So I am not allowed to go on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok from 9 p.m. to 11 a.m. And this morning it was really helpful because I was extremely productive, because every time this morning that I was like, ooh, let me go on my phone, I was like, ooh, I can't go on Instagram and scroll. So I was like, okay, let me go do something else. And I got a ton of work done. So I can already tell this is gonna be great. I highly suggest anyone does this. In terms of minimalism, as you guys know, I've been posting a couple of videos about it. We'll be posting another one next week. So I think in general, my goal with my minimalism journey this year is to find a home for everything in my house. And if there is not a home here, find it another home in someone else's home. So kind of just making sure that each thing that I have actually has a purpose in my house, and I'm not just keeping random sentimental junk. Obviously, as I feel like I've mentioned before in my other videos, I do not own everything that is in this apartment. Some of it is owned by my boyfriend's mom and his sister who is abroad right now. So for me personally, with my minimalism, oh my god, why is it so hard to say that? So for me personally, with my minimalism stuff, I just have to focus on my possessions and just work around the other stuff. I'm assuming that that's actually the case for a lot of people if you live in a home that is a shared space, especially shared kitchen, which that's the video that I'm gonna be doing next week. Kitchen clean out with stuff that you can't get rid of because it's not yours. So that, and then focusing on finances and cutting out all of my unnecessary purchases. Making sure that I'm not buying things that I don't need to buy. And I feel like I'm getting pretty good at that for myself, but I feel like everyone has their weak spots, and I'm pretty good at like not buying clothes and extra stuff now. I feel like I've gotten better at that, but when it comes to dog stuff, I don't know anyone else out there that is like trying to be a minimalist or whatever, and you have a dog. Every time I go into a pet store, I'm just like, but I could get him a little treat, or I could get him a which is so dumb because my dog doesn't even like dog toys, which is actually good because that would be horrendous. It would be so bad if my dog actually liked dog toys because I would have no self-control, but he doesn't. So it makes it even more useless for me to buy things for him because he doesn't even like them. Anyways, just find where your weaknesses are and focus on those things throughout the year and try to cut out any unnecessary purchases. But yeah, essentially that is all of my goals and the systems that I'm doing to make sure that they stay on track for the year. I really hope that this video made at least a little bit of sense because honestly, I feel like my brain is like detached from my body right now. There is a bunch of noise happening right outside this window that I'm filming in front of, and my neighbor has been blasting music on and off like throughout this whole video. So my ADHD is not having a good time. Hopefully this video was helpful to you guys, and I'm really excited for this new year and all of the things that I'm gonna be posting about. Because, you know, I started this channel a year ago and I'm really proud that I kept up with it, and I'm having a great time making videos and stuff. I'm not getting any money from it, but I'm having a good time. It's super fun, and I really love the little community that we're building here. So please let me know what kind of videos you want to see from me in the new year if you're still watching. Okay, I'm gonna end this video before I talk for the next 500 hours. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you next week. Until then, I am sending you all my love. Mwah. Goodbye.